Waters for the port's management team and board members who may have sailed through their presentation to the legislature at first, but were then caught up in a wave of criticism, rushed with questions on the actual role of the Maritime Administration, or MAROD, in the port's modernization program.
What we've been seeing over the last several months, Mr. Chairman Tidinko, is that MAROD's role is akin to a federal receivership.
Port board members made it clear to lawmakers they have the final say in the port's modernization program, but the legislature was even more critical of the impressions MAROD has made to senators and other federal entities. Senator Rory Respicio saying MAROD's been making their rounds to lawmakers, bad-mouthing the port.
That for the first time? I'm telling you this for the first time?
No, I've heard that for the first time this morning prior to you saying that. And, I want to make sure and establish the veracity of that claim.
So what exactly did MAROD say? Evidently, the comments were made as a result of a disagreement over proposed improvements at the port's container yard. Senator Tom Atta.
During the discussions, the port's idea of installing the TOS, that's a terminal operating system, and the GOS, the gate operating system, was described as misguided, a mega galactic system to support a superhighway. I think those are rather strong descriptives that were used, which shows that we've got quite a gap to bridge.
And speaking of gaps, lawmakers like Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz was concerned about the years that have passed and the millions that have been spent with nothing to show.
We've spent now over $20 million in consulting and planning, and we've not spent a penny on construction or implementation. Is that correct, Mr. Chairman?
That's correct. That's correct. If you're asking whether or not any dirt has been turned over by a spade, you're right.
And is anybody going to jail for this?
No, not yet.
The port's commercial division manager, Glenn Nelson, clarified that the consulting contract was for $19 million, but they've actually been paid $10 million, a third of that funding coming from local port customers, the rest by a combination of federal dollars. Nelson also told lawmakers the dirt should have been turned last November, and while Guam's port modernization remains at bay, it appears the military's port improvements have been sailing ahead.
We've started at the same time. We both said we were going to do a build-up, and the choke point was ours, was the port. And we've not done anything. And we've spent over $10 million.
Port Board Chairperson Dan Tidinko says he understood senators' frustrations, but the new board is working to get the port's modernization plan sailing in a new direction.
I've only been there for 3 months, and I'm totally frustrated with regards to why there have been log jams in a number of these things. But nonetheless, we have, you guys have confirmed me and the other board members, and we're pushing forward on this. There may be people that may not want to talk to us or deal with us. Nevertheless, we're going to talk and deal with everybody who does want to come aboard to get this project moving and stuff.